Let me begin by telling you people that there's a magnificent cover-up involving the Central Intelligence Agency about intentionally withholding information from the FBI about two al-Qaeda operatives living inside the United States that came from a high-level terrorist meeting in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, with high-level officials from al-Qaeda and Jemaah Islamiyah. Jemaah Islamiyah is an Indonesian terrorist group that's affiliated with Abu Sayyaf in the Philippines, who are both affiliated with al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. And this meeting was known to the NSA and the CIA, as well as Malaysian authorities. However, the information about who attended these meetings was withheld from the FBI, even though the FBI knew about this meeting. But the CIA took photographs, which were taken by Malaysian authorities, about who was coming in and out of that meeting. And most importantly, two men who were being monitored both by the NSA and the CIA years prior, Khalid al-Mihdhar, Nawaf al-Hazmi, who were coming from Afghanistan, from Yemen, in a house that was monitored by the NSA and the CIA. And they were coming to the United States after this meeting. And this information was not shared with the FBI. This is huge, because not only was the information not provided to the FBI or the Department of State, it was intentionally withheld. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play an excerpt of a Joint House inquiry involving Carl Levin, a panelist, who is actually interviewing the director of the CIA, George Tenet, about this information that was withheld from the FBI. Let's take a look.
Of Ms. Hill's report, it stated the following. On June 11, 2001, FBI headquarters representatives and CIA representatives met with the New York FBI agents handling the Cole investigation. The New York agents were shown but not given copies of the photographs that they and told that they were taken in Malaysia. They weren't told that. Still, information being withheld. This is after the Cole. Information withheld from the FBI. One of the New York agents recalled that al-Mihdhar's name was being mentioned. He also recalled asking for more information on why the people in the photographs were being followed. So we got an FBI now asking the CIA, why are you following these folks? He recalled asking for more information on why they were being followed and for access to that information. The New York agents were advised they could not be told why al-Mihdhar and the others were being followed. This is truly unbelievable. I've got to tell you all, this is extraordinary. This has got nothing to do with information which can't cross a wall. This has to do with leads which are not shared with the FBI. Just simple leads.
Now, in this respect, this was a meeting held in June of 2001, where a CIA analyst, who's not named in this, but his name is Clark Shannon, who works for the Counterterrorism Center at the CIA, who went and met with an FBI agent from the counterterrorism unit at Washington, D.C., and his name was Steve Bongart. There was another FBI agent there. Her name is Dina Corsi. And in this meeting, Clark Shannon was showing him pictures from the Malaysia summit meeting of Khalid al-Mihdhar and Walid bin Attash, also known as Khalid. The FBI has no idea about these individuals. Not only that, they don't even know that they were in the country at this point 15 months later, 14 months later. They're living inside the United States without the full knowledge of the FBI or the State Department. The CIA knew, the NSA knew, and at this point, the Saudis knew, okay? So now we have something which is actually illuminating and is often totally forgotten or completely ignored by the 9/11 Truth Movement and the CIA and the State Department. I wonder why. Now, here's another problem, is that the director of the CIA is basically saying that, well, we never told Clark Shannon not to share that information. Yet, when George Tenet was pressed on this issue, he continued to lie for Clark Shannon, not knowing that Clark Shannon actually gave closed-door testimony to the Joint House inquiry, who said otherwise. Let's take a listen.
Let me read you the staff report. The CIA analyst who attended the New York meeting acknowledged to the Joint Inquiry staff that he had seen the information regarding al-Mihdhar's U.S. visa and al-Hazmi's travel to the United States, but he stated that he would not share information outside of the CIA unless he had authority to do so. That's what he told our staff. Do you disagree with that?
Sir, I've talked to him as well.
Do you disagree that he said that to our staff?
Well, no, I don't disagree. He said it to your staff. I'm telling you what
Did he
told
tell you something differently?
Yes, sir. He
Okay.
gave me a different
So
perspective.
he told
on the
you and he told our staff something differently.
Well,
okay.
but I think it's important, sir.
Yeah, but our time is limited.
So there it is. All right. Now we have the connection made that a CIA analyst who knew about two hijackers living inside the United States, Khalid al-Mihdhar and Nawaf al-Hazmi, knew about this for 14 months. Okay. I'm sorry, 16 months, because there was another meeting after this. Okay. That they finally told the FBI about them living inside the United States in August, late August of 2001, just weeks prior to the September 11th attacks. But they didn't tell them that they had U.S. visas or where they were. Okay. So now we have an agent who testified that he was told not to share that information with the FBI on orders of Director Tenet. So there we have it. Tenet is basically covering up for Clark Shannon and covering up for himself. Hey, wait a minute. This is huge. Why is he lying here? This is amazing. Why isn't the 9/11 Truth Movement jumping on this? Well, I'll tell you why, because they don't believe in hijackers, which actually helps the CIA cover up this fact alone. And on top of it, you have the State Department who are cleaning up afterwards, cleaning up and still protecting the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And yet you still want to talk about no planes, no hijackers, CGI, and all this garbage, which absolves the CIA, the NSA, the Israelis, the Saudis, and everybody else who was involved with monitoring these people and withholding information, which could have prevented 9/11 from even happening. You should be outraged. You should be disgusted with people who continually absolve people from crimes of 9/11, like Barbara Honegger, Jason Burmis, Dave Von Kleist, Richard Gage, and all the other jokers who basically lie and basically fabricate stories that actually doesn't talk about incidents like this. You should be angry.